Thank you, Alexei. Actually, the toughest question on the occasion came from you. I would like to follow the suit of my previous speakers in thanking our Russian host for inviting me to this very important event, and also to provide me with an opportunity to speak in front of such an distinguished audience. In less than 1 month, we'll be celebrating the 17th anniversary of the V-Day in Europe. And although we have, in the last 7 decades, we have seen wars of different intensities and different durations. We have seen armed conflicts over territory, religions, resources, ethnic disputes. We have not undergone any wars as bloody as the last one, the last World War. And we have been able to sustain strategic stability by building security mechanisms, by maintaining a strategic balance, and by cooperating on fighting common security threats. If we are to sustain regional and global stability, military and political means are still indispensable. First, to keep the regional and global stability, we need security mechanisms to deal with security issues. The Cold War has ended more than 20 years ago, but its legacy is still here. Some military alliances not only survived the Cold War, but also expanded and enlarged their influence, disregarding the security concerns of others. Such expansion has compressed the strategic space of other countries and caused instabilities. In the Asia-Pacific region, the 5 bilateral military alliances that the United States had set up in the Cold War have consolidated to form a core for Asia-Pacific security architecture. China, during the Cold War, had been one of the enemies of these bilateral alliances, and China is still sensitive to the changing orientation of these alliances. We hope that the 21st century could witness the building of new security architectures which are inclusive rather than exclusive, which are not aimed at any country or any party, which are not ideologically based. In the Asia-Pacific region, China prefers a state-to-state relationship based on partnership rather than alliance. In that spirit, China has set up partnership relations with 75 states and 5 international organizations, and China has participated in almost all the multilateral security mechanisms, such as the ASEAN Regional Forum, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the ASEAN Defense Minister Meeting Plus, and the Western Pacific Naval Symposium, and so on. Second, to keep the regional and global stability, we need to maintain a strategic balance. It is known that the balance of nuclear power between the United States and the Soviet Union has served to prevent the Cold War from turning into a hot war. This balance of deterrence also gives motives for nuclear disarmament. However, if one side aims to seek absolute security at the expenses of the other, the strategic stability will be upset. For example, the desire for for absolute security has resulted not only in the collapse of one of the most important arms control cornerstones during the Cold War, the ABM Treaty, but also the development and deployment of ballistic missile defense systems in both Europe and Asia. The BMD system had the potential to upset the delicate balance of deterrence and stop or even reverse disarmament process. It might also introduce arms races between the strategic offense and the strategic defense, or arms race in other areas, for example, in the emerging security domains as cyber and outer space. Third, we are facing increasing common global security threats which have to be dealt with by military political means, instruments. We have seen the rise of terrorism, the more frequent nature disasters caused by extreme climate, transborder crimes, the proliferation of WMDs, the spread of epidemic disease such as Ebola, and the lingering domestic turmoil and chaos in some countries. Most of these are non-traditional security threats, which can be responded more effectively, rapidly, and accurately with military instruments. The militaries of all countries have shown greater willingness and more potential to cooperate with each other in non-traditional security areas. They have joined hands in conducting such operations as counter-terrorism, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, anti-piracy, and protection of silence of communications, evacuation of overseas nationals, and peacekeeping. Such cooperation is essential for regional as well as global stability and peace. There is one more point I have to make. The strong tide of globalization and digitization has brought prosperity and progress for humanity. However, the tide so far has not changed some of the fundamental geopolitical and geostrategic facts. One of them is that strategic stability is based on strategic balance. Military power is an essential part of this balance. The role of military and political instruments in maintaining regional and global global stability has not been reduced. It remains as important as ever. Thank you.